Yes, indeed, YouTube. It is your guy, 74 Midwest Bass. And as you can see, we are back with another episode of Quick Tech Tip Tuesdays. Yes, indeed. So for today, we're going to address something again that we haven't addressed in a few years. So I've been seeing some things on the net and on YouTube and other little places about this. And so I figured I'd make another video for some of my newer YouTube family and subscribers that didn't know. Because like I said, this is lost information for a lot of people, more geared towards the younger bass heads. And even some of the older bass heads that have been around for a while don't know. Never got that far into it to even consider figuring it out. You know, they always had somebody to do it for them. Didn't care enough to get into the technicalities of this here. And like I said, this is just the top layer of it. This isn't in depth. This is just going to be a quick, easy, simple way for you guys to check and see, does your amp suck? And what I mean by that, for this will be a series. So for the first part of the series of the your amp sucks, or does your amp suck? I don't know. I mean, don't take it personal. I don't know who's watching the video. I don't know what kind of amp you got. I don't know whether it sucks or not. I'm just here to help you figure out, does it suck? Okay. So for the first part of the series, like I said, it should be in the title or on the caption or something. Can your amp make rated power? And how do you figure that out without all of these majorly expensive tools and dynos and things that everybody's got? Now, I'm not against the dynos. I'm not against any of that stuff. If you can afford that, go get that. I mean, if that's what you want, get it. But for me and some other people who have the knowledge to be able to, you know, figure this stuff out without spending thousands of dollars, and also how these things were figured out before all of those devices and dynos and stuff were made, you know, people still had the ability to figure out how much power their amps were putting out and to accurately rate them. Henceforth, the reason why everybody is so into these old school amps, which were all made before amp dynos and all of that stuff came out. So how did they figure out how much power the amp put out and how to rate it accurately? Well, they did the math. So, like I said, back then, you know, before internet and all of that, it was a lot more technical. Hence the reason that, you know, for the people that haven't been around for a while, we started learning about this, and that's just a small bit of my electronic collection. We started learning about this way before you could just push on the button and say, Google, answer this question for me. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, back to the business. How to figure out if your amp will even do rated power. And to do that, you know, we won't need this. Because this, you use to see how much real-time power your amp is putting out with speakers. What we're trying to figure out is, before you even connect speakers or anything like that, does the amp even have the capability to put out the power that is rated at? How do we do that? Again, I'll say, we do the math. And luckily, in today's society, you got the internet. So you can just go on there and they'll have the calculator or calculation calculators there for you. This is the website that I've been using for years, you know, just to make it simple. When I buy my amps, it's one of the first things I do. Like I said, if you haven't been around on my channel for a while, you won't know about this. But those who've been around for a while, they know. This is how we check our amps immediately upon unboxing them to test and see if they even have the capability to put out the power that they're rated at. And these are RMS ratings. So what we've got, I'll shrink it down so you can see it. Electrical current, electrical power, electrical voltage, electricity, and electric charge. Basic formulas and calculation. Relationship of physical and electrical quantities, parameters, electric voltage, amperage, resistance, impedance, wattage, and power. Volt, ampere, resistance, impedance, ohm, and watt. So what does that mean? That means that in these four values, as it says there, the way they've got it calculated out is you enter any two known values and press calculate to get the other two values that you want. You know, for some people they probably still don't get it, so I'm gonna slow it down. Let's say your amp, okay, we got wattage right there. So we'll click on that. Wattage. Okay, so let's say your amp is rated at 1,000 watts. So we'll put 1,000 in there. 1,000. That's the value that we know. We bought an amp and it's supposed to be 1,000 watts RMS. Okay. Do we know the voltage? No, we don't know. That's what we want to know. And that voltage is AC voltage. AC voltage, not DC voltage. AC voltage. Do we know the current? No. Do we know the resistance? Yes. What is the resistance? Ohms. So our amp is rated at 1,000 watts at how many ohms? 1 ohm. So go back, click on resistance. Resistance is your ohms. The amp is rated at 1,000 watts at 1 ohm. See that? So to put out 1,000 watts at 1 ohm, you need how much AC current? And that's what we're looking for. That top bar up there. That's the number that we need to find out, to figure out whether our amp is even capable of putting out 1,000 watts at 1 ohm. So as it said, you need two of the values to calculate. And those are the two values that we know for sure. They said that at 1 ohm, so it'll put out 1,000 watts. So how much AC voltage do we need to get that 1,000 watts at 1 amp at 1 ohm? That's what we want to find out. Hit calculate. Right there. You need 31.6 volts to get 1,000 watts at 1 ohm. Why is that important to us? Because this is the cheapest and most efficient, well, I won't say most efficient, but the cheapest and one of the most efficient ways for you to immediately tell whether you've been scammed. So, like I said, that top number is AC voltage. Where do we get AC voltage? From our multimeter. See what that says up there? ACV. AC voltage. So we know that we're needing 31 volts. So we'll put it on 200 range. You turn it on. You connect the negative to the negative speaker output on the amp, and you connect the positive to the positive speaker output on the amp. Bass, you go to a 40 hertz tone. So we'll do that. Alright, you play that 40 hertz tone through the amp, and when you do that, you'll get an AC voltage reading. So that AC voltage reading should at least be able to hit 31 volts AC and let you know that the amp is capable of hitting 1,000 watts. If on your multimeter it won't get up to 31 or whatever that specified voltage is up there, if you can't get that amount of volts on your multimeter hooked to the speaker outputs on your amp, you know immediately it is impossible for your amp to do 1,000 watts at one ohm, because that's the voltage needed to do it. I mean, that's simple as possible. Like I said, there's the website up there. For anybody, like I said, that, you know, don't have the time or the ability to actually do these calculations, thanks to today's society and today's internet, they've got calculators already on here that'll do it for you. So, anybody at home, if you got a $5 to $10 to $200 multimeter, you can check and see if it is even possible for your amp to hit rated power. And this is how you do it. Like I said, you can get a multimeter, Harbor Freight, Walmart. I mean, if you want a more expensive one, like I said, you can get the Flukes or some of the other ones, the Kleins. But this is the bare minimum what you need to check and see if your amp is capable of doing rated power. Now, to see what your amp is doing real time, you need a clamp, because you want to clamp the AC voltage. But that's not what we're talking about. So if that doesn't make sense to anybody, leave it in the comments, and I'll see if I can go into it any in depth any more than that. So, like I say, also in the process of this, you know, a lot of the newer amps come with clip lights. So you set your head unit or your source unit, whatever it is that you're getting your signal from. You get to your amp. Turn your gain up until that clip light comes on, back it off till the clip light goes off. Then hook it up to this, the way I just told you, and see if you can get that amount of volts clean, not clipping. Then you know that your amp will be able to put out rated power clean. Now, if you don't have an O-scope or something like that, it still can give you an idea of what's going on. You may not know whether your amp is putting out clean power enough, but you will know that it has the capability to make rated power. Now, you'll need an O-scope or a clip detector, which most amps come with now. to see whether that power is clean or not. But like I said, there are some amps that you can order out there that won't even make their rated power dirty. So like I said, this is something that anybody can do when you get your amps. It's cheap and efficient to see if you can make rated power. And like I said, most amps now come with clip detectors or clip indicators. So you can use that if you don't have an oscope to check your amp and make sure that it is capable of putting out rated power. Like I said, we're about 15 minutes in. This has been long enough. If you guys want me to actually do this and hook it up and show you, I can do that also. But like I said, this will work for any amp. Any amp. You know. So, and just for reference, you know, this goes up to 750 volts AC. And if anybody's just thinking about it, you might need more than that, I doubt it. Because like I said, at 200 volts AC, I mean, that's still more power than most people ever see. 105 volts AC is like 10,000 watts. 8K is, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around 89 to 90 volts AC. So to hit more than 200 volts AC, you need like a 2200 watt amp. To hit more than 750 volts AC, you need a house or something, you know, a neighborhood. But anyway, like I said, YouTube, it is your guy 74 Midwest Bass. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments and I will most definitely address them. Stay tuned for the next Quick Tip Tuesdays. We'll get into the next step of this, which would be ohm rise, not box rise, ohm rise, which, you know, in turn lowers the power that you're going to get out of your amp due to the ohms rising above its resting value. Don't worry about that right now. Stay tuned. Tune in to next Quick Tip Tuesdays videos and we'll address that ohm rise and how to combat ohm rise safely and not so safely. It's your guy and we out of there.